Welcome back to Drunk on Writing. Today we're going to talk about the latest installment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Ant-Man and the Wasp, which I just saw last night, and I gotta say, it was a really good B-movie. Not a B-movie, and it was it was an ant, B-movie. You know what I mean. We're gonna go on into full spoilers a little bit later, but first I want to lay down a couple impressions on the movie as a whole, spoiler-free, just to kind of give you an idea of what you're going into if you are thinking about going to see it this weekend. So, first things first, you gotta know when this is set. This is not a sequel to Avengers Infinity War. It does not take place after Avengers. It takes place before that, or almost kind of concurrent with it. It's roughly set about 2 years after the events of Civil War, which play a huge part in this one. And I actually went back and I watched the first Ant-Man film, and I watched the part of Civil War where Ant-Man appears to kind of prep to watch this film. And looking back on it, the first Ant-Man film was very much a palate cleanser for Age of Ultron, which we really needed a palate cleanser after that, because that movie was, But it worked. It was a nice, fun, simple kind of B movie, something. It was the Tales to Astonish kind of comic book, whereas Age of Ultron is the event comic book. Same thing with Infinity War. This Ant-Man and the Wasp, that is the palate cleanser for this Phase 3. It doesn't really push the story forward. It just kind of says, hey, we know we put you through the ringer with Infinity War. Here's this nice little fun romp. Please enjoy. And it really does that, It's a good, fun movie. If you've seen the trailers, you kind of know what to expect. And if you're watching the movie, you kind of know what to expect. It's very much an homage to those older kind of sci-fi movies where, they go into like a certain realm and they explore, and there's a lot of great visuals. That's what this movie is, and it works. It does its job. It does exactly what it needs to be. There's nothing terribly surprising at all about the movie, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. There are several laughs, or a couple of really good bits, couple bits that are nice little callbacks. I recommend seeing it, but just know what you're going into. This is not a movie that is going to make you think. It's not a movie that you're going to walk away from and be like, wow, that had so many layers to it. It's a very simple, straightforward B-movie. That's exactly what it is. Now, they're projecting this is going to make about $75 million this weekend, which is a far cry from Avengers Infinity War's record-breaking box office. And I think a bit ahead of the original Ant-Man, but also I think around on par, or maybe a little off of Thor: The Dark World. So it's not going to make Disney or Marvel a ton of money. And at my showing, I went to the 6 o'clock first viewing of the movie in the States here. The theater was not full. There was not a line. There was plenty of seats available. Coming out, the next showing, again, same thing. Line wasn't very long. Black Panther, meanwhile, that place was packed. Infinity War, that place was packed. So I don't know how well this is going to do compared to those. I don't see it. Maybe it won't even break that $75 million. But I gotta say, if you are thinking about going to see it, just go see it. The visuals, especially, are worth seeing it on the IMAX. It's a very nice, fun, have a drink beforehand and then show up. So, let's get into spoilers, why don't we? But first, before I get into that, I just want to say, I watched Ant-Man and the Wasp on my birthday. I'm filming this today and posting it today on my wife's birthday. So, if you happen to enjoy this video, if you happen to enjoy Drunk on Writing as a whole, please subscribe to the channel, or better yet, head on over to patreon.com/drunkonwriting and sign up to be a patron. There's a lot of great goodies there, and, it'd be a nice little birthday present for me and my wife. So, that said, let's jump into spoilers. Plot-wise, the movie is all about trying to get Janet back, right? That's the MacGuffin of the movie. You're trying everything that you can. You gotta get this part to fix this machine to get going, and Ghost is coming there, and she wants to do this thing. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, right? but you can see the through lines, you can see where everything makes sense, and it works. You know, it's, as I said at the top of this video, it's a B movie kind of storyline. And even when the credits roll and you see like all the miniatures, you can see how this is a direct homage to those 1950s sci-fi horror movies, where it's a bunch of clay miniatures acting out the parts with these cheap sets that are doing their best to look like something extravagant. It reminded me a lot of kind of a 2001: A Space Odyssey, certain of the effects in that movie. That's what Ant-Man reminded me of. And, you know, the narration, the dialogue, the acting, all of it really played into that B-movie feel. Especially the nincompoop of the FBI agents. Like, what is it with the Ant-Man series and having really dumb cops? The first one had it. This one has it. Like, what is it? Everywhere else, in every other movie, they're fairly smart. Here, we're just dealing with the stupidest people. They cannot get anything done right. Lewis, of course, once again stole the show, as did his other little friend there, screaming Baba Yaga all the time with the little music playing. That was great. Great callback having with the truth serum. That whole scene was brilliant. Well executed. Probably could have gone on slightly longer. Really enjoyed that one, but for brevity's sake, I think they did a good job. Of course, I think everybody's going to be talking about the ending, which clearly sets up the next Avengers film. And there was that mention of time vortex. So will Ant-Man show up in Captain Marvel? Probably. I got a feeling that's how it's going to be. Or, you know, he's going to be the catalyst for Avengers 4, going back in time, trying to fix things. How does he know that everybody disintegrated? I don't know. I do like, at the very end, there's that question mark. Ant-Man and the Wasp will return? Question mark. Nice little touch. I think that this, combined with the first Ant-Man movie, really kind of completes an arc for all of these characters. Of course, you know, that cliffhanger left it open for a lot of other possibilities. But we get closure on Janet. She's out of the quantum realm. The Wasp is kicking butt. Michael Douglas has his little thing. They got that little house together. This can be a nice little happy ending. A little two-part narrative. What is that? It's not a trilogy. It's a duology? But this, I really think that could just wrap up their storyline. I think it would be an effective way to do it. We don't need to revisit all these characters constantly. I think we're definitely going to see Scott Lang again, of course. As to the others, I don't know. I don't know. Cassie, there was hints of Cassie perhaps donning the costume at some point, which she obviously does in the comic book. So will we get to that point? It's possible. I think that would make a lot of sense. I also would just really love it if they explored the ant powers more. Like, we kind of focused so much on the big, getting small, doing the phasing, going to the quantum realm and whatnot. This dude can control ants. He can make them big. He has his own little private army, a little army of slaves that he can just command on a whim with a little hearing aid thing. What if that falls in the wrong hands? What if like somebody like the Mole Man got that, started taking over the ants? I have so many ants under my sidewalk right outside my house that if one of those little colonies got a drop of the thing to make it all big, the PIM particles, I'd be screwed. My whole house would probably just cave in if they just got big underground. Imagine just the army of ants walking down the sidewalk, going down the street, rolling up down the highway. This shit would be done. If you could push a button and make all the ants giant and control them with your little hearing aid device, that's it, man. That'd be a fun disaster movie. I think that would be a cool close to an arc. I would see that movie. I think that'd be cool. You know, it's kind of like them to the next level. Anything else? Janet, I kept it kind of expecting to turn villainous. Didn't happen. I was okay with that. You know, if she had gone villainous, there was two ways it was going to go. It was going to be a happy ending. Hank and her were going to be in love and happy lovey-dovey. She was going to die, or she was going to turn into a villain. Those are the three endings. Focusing this long on trying to get her, that was how it was going to end. I'm glad that they stuck with how they did. I'm glad that they made Ghost, or that they gave Ghost a happy ending, fixing her up so that she's okay. Maybe she becomes an ally in a future film. That'd be neat, but what is Does she have any powers now? Is she just useless? Is she just a person in a suit? I don't know. We'll have to see where we go from here with that character. They do mention the new Ghost in the post-credits scene. Oh, and I should mention the other post-credit scene, the one with the ant drumming, which is a good little scene, and that's the one that you've seen a lot of memes about. I think it was in one of the trailers. But if you notice, there's a please stand by screen. Have you ever seen a please stand by in modern history? They don't put that on the TV anymore. Besides that, 50% of the population died. But the other 50% is still alive. So, is nobody reporting on the news? Is nobody, going, it's like 50% of the population is dead? Journalists, as we've seen recently, even in the most dire circumstances, they're still going to report the news. So I was a little kind of floored on that. And given how quiet it was, I wonder if more than 50% of the population actually was destroyed. Or maybe it was heavier in certain areas than it was in others. Like maybe Asia and Africa wasn't as touched as maybe US and Europe kind of thing. The places that we've really seen in the Marvel Universe. I don't know, I guess we'll have to wait to see where that ends up. And it's all going to be reversed anyway. We already know there's a new Spider-Man coming next year, and obviously Spider-Man did his little, I don't feel so well, Mr. Stark. I'm not going to go rehash about Infinity War. You know how I feel about that. I did not like that movie. But this one, Ant-Man and the Wasp, enjoyable. I want to go see it again, but I think I'm going to wait for the Blu-ray because it was a B movie. It wasn't that A-class disaster event film, but it was fun. It was enjoyable. Anyways, let me know what you thought in the comments below. I'd love to hear your perspective on it. I think this was better than the first Ant-Man film. I don't know if there will be another Ant-Man film after this. I think there's plenty of room to explore. But again, I think this could be a good ending. So again, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to sign up. Please head on over to patreon.com/drunkenwriting, sign up there. And until the next Marvel Cinematic Universe film, which I guess will be Captain Marvel, cheers. And keep on riding.